Hello everybody, I'm Pragya, or this is my sign name. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about inclusivity, impact as well as accessibility. Till now we have talked about the deaf community and the blind community a little, and we have also learned a few ways in which we can build an inclusive society around ourselves. But now we'll be talking about something that we can do in a more regular way and an easier way. For this, I'm collaborating with Saksham Trust, and under their campaign Leveraging Social Media Accessibility for All, we are bringing to you a series on how to be more accessible on social media. Leveraging Social Media Accessibility for All is a campaign supported by Meta, and Saksham Trust is an NGO working for the blind community in different states of the country. In this series, we will be covering how we can be a little more accessible and inclusive on social media, something that we are guilty of using for hours on end each day of our life. In this, we'll cover three types of posts or ways in which we engage with the social media. First is through text, that can be through texting somebody, that can be through the text based posts that we make. Second is through the images we post on social media and how to make them more accessible for somebody with blindness specifically. Third is how to make sure that the videos that we are posting are accessible. In this particular video, we'll be talking about three simple ways in which we can make our text a little more inclusive. We'll cover more ways in the future videos. Now, we have talked about assistive technologies a little in the past and how a person with blindness or any other disability uses different techniques and technologies to be able to navigate the world around themselves. If you remember, we also talked a little about something called screen reading technologies. That is something that a blind person uses to perceive the information on their screen. Screen readers are technologies used to read out the content that is mentioned on the screen of a person using those assisted technologies. Now, our job here is to make sure that whatever we are writing or whatever we are putting out on social media can be read through those screen readers, so that a person with blindness using those assistive technologies can perceive that information. Now, first way to ensure that is very simple, that is use simple language. Now, this includes not using extremely heavy words, and this also includes using shorter sentences. This will not only help people with blindness, this will also help people with neurodivergence. This will also help people who are not exactly fluent in the language you're using, and this will also help people who are deaf, who might not be adept at using spoken language because they use sign language more regularly. The second way in which you can be more inclusive is by using emoticons in your chat. I know this might feel a little counterintuitive. You might not want to use emoticons while talking to somebody who's blind, thinking that they might not be able to perceive the smaller image or the emoticon that you're sending. However, the screen readers can actually read the emoticon or the emotion you're trying to emote through the emoticon and convey to the person using the screen reader as a technology. So please feel free to use the emoticons provided in the apps and they will be able to use it. You don't need to substitute it with special characters like using colon and open bracket instead of a smiley. That is something that I used to do, so I'm imagining that that is something that people might also do intuitively, thinking that it'll be easier to communicate, but that's actually not the right way to go. Please feel free to use emoticons and the screen readers will be able to use them. Now, the third way in which we can ensure that we are more accessible on social media is to use Camel Case while writing the hashtags that we use. Now, a lot of us use hashtags while using social media. One hashtag that I absolutely love to use is one step at a time. Now, Camel Case might sound like something complicated, but it is not. It simply means that the first letter of every word that you're using in the hashtag should be capital. So while writing one step at a time, I will make sure that O, S, A, and T are capital. Yes, even the single letter word has to be in capital so that it can be read by screen readers. That's it. That's it. Three extremely simple ways on how you can be more accessible on social media. I really hope that you adopt this, and I'll be back with Saksham Trust and bring to you more ways in which you can make sure that you're more accessible on social media. For now, remember, whenever you're writing anything in text, use simple language, use emoticons, and use camel casing for your hashtags. I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.